Laravel makes it very easy to put rate limits on our applications. If somebody's logged in, whether through an API token or as just a normal user, we can rate limit that user so they don't abuse our site. But often we want to have rate limits for guest users, people that aren't logged in or authenticated in any way. For example, maybe on our login form, we want to prevent abuse, so we put some sort of rate limit right in front of it. Now, the way we would do this, there's different ways, but generally we would use maybe their IP address. This is a blunt instrument, but it's probably the best we have for an unauthenticated user. So now let's talk about that common scenario, but we're going to add one more wrinkle on top. What if you're using Cloudflare? Now, Cloudflare is a proxy that sits in front of your server. So when a user visits your site, they're actually connecting to Cloudflare, then Cloudflare is making the request to our server. So if you look at the request IP for one of those requests that's coming through Cloudflare, it's actually going to have Cloudflare's IP address. So do you see the problem? If we're rate limiting based on IP, we're actually rate limiting Cloudflare, our service provider, not the user on the other side of that Cloudflare proxy. So how can we solve this? All is not lost. There's an easy way to solve this. Let's take a look at the code together. So I'm within the Bootstrap app file. And again, this is a modern Laravel 12 app. I think Laravel 11 looked the same way. If you're before that, the way you set up these TrustProxies is a little bit different. But basically, we add this as a middleware. And there's a middleware called TrustProxies where we can provide a list of IP addresses. So what do we list here? Now, one approach, don't do this, but one approach would be to do that. That's not good. What this means is trust any proxy server. So this would solve our issue with rate limiting and Cloudflare and actually getting the real user's IP, but this would open us up to other potential issues. I do not recommend this approach. I'm just pointing it out because I have seen people do this. I don't think it's the way to solve it. What could we do instead? Well, if you search on this topic, there is a package somebody provided. I think it's called Laravel Cloudflare Proxy List or something like that. And this package will automatically update this. You can even set up a schedule. It'll go fetch the Cloudflare IPs. It'll configure it in your TrustProxies. That works, and that's a decent approach, but I try not to add packages unless there's really a need for it. And in this case, I don't think there is. So let's go over to Cloudflare's site. They have a page /IPs, and they list out for us all of the IPs that they might visit us from. So we can literally just grab these one at a time. I'm not going to do the whole list here, but we could just come in here and we can do that. Now notice this isn't a specific IP. This is actually a range of IPs using this subnet format that's supported by Laravel because under the hood it's using Symfony request. Symfony supports it, so we're all good here. And we could just repeat this. We would want to list out all of the IPv4 addresses. And just for completeness, IPv6 as well. And to make it easier, we can fetch these as a list. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, well, what if this changes? That would be bad, right? So if they remove something, that wouldn't be great. Somebody else could now be trusted as a proxy beside Cloudflare, or they could add an IP range, and now we're back in that original situation where we're not trusting that one block of new Cloudflare IPs and we start rate limiting Cloudflare. But I want you to see something here. They have a change log. If I go all the way back to the beginning, 2017, it's changed once, twice, 3, 4 times in the last over 8 years as of this recording. Now, that could change in the future, and if this starts to churn, they're adding or removing IPs, then maybe that package is a good idea. But when I look at this, I think I can manually update that. I can monitor this page occasionally, and if something new is either added or removed, I can go update it in my list. So that's how we solve it. It's pretty straightforward. We use Laravel features, and then we get the rate limiting with the user's real IP address. Now, one final note I want to make. If you're hosting with Laravel Forge, that is, if Laravel Forge provisioned your server, they automatically do this for us. So in the Nginx configuration, they set up a configuration called Cloudflare where that full list of IPs is trusted, and this automatically happens. We don't have to do anything within our Laravel application. So if you're running on Laravel Forge, that's taken care of for you. But I just wanted to point this out and make it obvious how you would solve this and why you would want to solve this issue in the first place.